Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the Sunday special. This is going to be the top 12 race customed diecasts in my collection. So this is going to be cars that had a base paint scheme and additional details were added to that paint scheme to make the custom rather than the full custom. Oh, yawning because it's late. Anyway, recording late I should say. So, what we're going to start with, the first car on the list is going to be one that actually is no longer in my collection, the 2007 Carl Edwards Bristol Win. So, coming from a standard 2007 COT, see a few markings, obviously on the left side, pretty dirtied up, window net down, tape across the pins, and then you can see the tape on the grill and some rubber buildup. But the main one on there, you got a flared out fender here, a bent in fender here. When you get to the right side, you can see donut marks around the left rear and a bent-in fender there, bent-in fender there, and some marks up around the front as well. So pretty clean, but it does have a decent amount of dirt and raced-up detail to it. So this is not the one that is staying in my collection. I'm keeping the 2008. This one has too many bad memories. Not really for anything other than the fact that I really wanted Casey Kane to win this race with the McDonald's car. And Carl just had to take it. Just saying, Kane could have won it. But anyway, yeah, Kane led a bunch of laps in that race, and so did Carl. So they were both pretty good, and Carl just had the better car at the end. All right, so the next car on the list, we're going to go ahead and go with probably my favorite, one of my favorite cars that's just very underrated. This is the 2005 Casey Kane Texas Win. And I think this car, it's really not that complicated. It just turned out really, really good. You see we got the tire tape there. We got the black valence around with a little red stripe around the bottom of the car here, which looks amazing. You can see the little pieces of grill tape down there on the bottom of the Elite here. You can see the little rubber marks around the front of it, and which looks good. Windshield banner, which is just on the inside of the window, but looks very, very nice, very neat. We also have CS Diecast did this one, so you can see his stuff in the back. Got Casey Kane. Again, we have the tire tape. Not as much on that side. Let's go to the right side. There's a little bit here, but really it's not much. There's a tiny bit around, but it's a black car, so you can kind of see around the fender, though, where that detail is. And then at the right front, there's a little bit, a couple marks on the tires for marking which tire is which. Overall, it's very, very clean. This true joist is added, or truss joist, I think that's what it is, truss joist. That is added. That's an added decal. I think this is also an added decal right in here. So there's a few added decals to this car that make it very unique. But I just think the way this car looks and the way it turned out, I mean, was really, really phenomenal. I really like this car. So, yeah, not really that much had to get done with it. It just, I don't know, that car just turned out so good in my opinion. Next car on this list, let's go ahead and go back to another Bristol car. We'll go back to Carl Edwards' 2008 Bristol car. Now this is the one that I'm holding, and this was why. We got a bent-up splitter from him and Kyle Busch getting together and wrecking fenders at the end of the race. See, we got marks over here on the left rear, so that's where he and Kyle Busch were dooring each other after the race, and even a little during. There we see another donut mark, another donut mark, another donut mark. And you can see all the marks down the right side. So really beat up the right side, but definitely the left side is actually the side that took the biggest beating. It's really sad. This is the car that would have made one of the best race versions. And for some reason, Lionel's old mentality was if one car isn't made, we are done making that driver for the rest of the year. And it was really, really dumb because guess what? A guy winning Pocono is very different from a guy winning Bristol. You know, this Bristol win, I guarantee you, would have been made because it was beat up. People would have loved a chance to get a real beat-up car. That's why people enjoy the raced wins, and I definitely would have been all over this one. You know, there's a lot of examples of that where they don't make one car and then they don't make the rest of them, and there's some other great gems that could have been made, but I don't know. There we go. Had to pick my next one here. Next one on the list is going to be really simple. This is a 2009 Casey Kane Atlanta race win. Biggest detail there is the Fritos logo there. Everything else is stock except for the splitter, which is white. They switched halfway through the year to a white splitter, and he wanted Atlanta with this car, so you can see we got the Fritos logo on both corner panels, mark for the jack, but otherwise fairly clean. You can see not a ton of race detail on the front, just tiny little marks and then stuff down here along the splitter, along the front of the splitter as well, but overall kept the car really clean. This was a race where, once again, Kevin Harvick dominated, and Kane kind of took it at the end and was able to pull away and win it. He did the same thing in 2014, almost, except for a late race yellow. Oh my gosh, the yawning is out of control tonight. Man, it is almost midnight, so getting ready for another 18 hours of work in a couple of days. Woo! Let's do it again. But yeah, that's the Casey Kane Atlanta one. Now we're getting into my favorites. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one next, but frankly, there's a lot that could be in this spot. This is the Edwards Sonoma Win from 2014. So you can see we got some tire marks and stuff here on the left side. Window net is down. Also, the car is lifted or has the lack of suspension, so it sits nice and low on all the different sides. We got a little bit of confetti up along the top for the Aflac car, but it is a pre-release, so it doesn't have the tall spoiler on it. Onto the right side. Got a donut mark there. Got some marks around the left or the right rear. But overall, pretty clean as far as that, minus the donut. We do have some marks on the bumper here. Also, the front has got some tape down there around the grill vents and the openings. Roof flaps and stuff are all there. But this is a pretty nice car, just having a little bit of reffed up and race detail to it. Plus, it's one of the only times he won in this black scheme in the Gen 4 car. Actually, it might be the only time in the Gen 6 car that he won in that. Man, I got to record these earlier in the day. Next on our list is going to be probably my second, and I said second, favorite Casey Kane car. 2007 Bristol Nationwide Race Win. So this car here, you can see there is no Goodyear left on either of these tires. You can see that they roughed up the fenders there, This is another one of those CS Diecast cars. The right side window has been pulled out. There you see the mark on the door. That is all very accurate. Marks on the right rear corner here, also accurate. This is actually a really well done custom as far as accuracy. Very, very close. Gosh. Man, yawning is just killing me tonight. But yeah, very, very good detail in terms of, what it was looking like on the track. When you go back and look at the photos of him doing a burnout down the front stretch, this is exactly what the right side looked like. Kind of a weird scrape there, but yeah. But it's definitely, this is one of my favorite diecasts. You can see this is a custom decal on the front, on the hood there. But otherwise, just having the race damage from Bristol was always fantastic, and man, it was a fun race. This was the first time they really started running the high line at Bristol. This is right after they did the repave. So next on our list is going to be probably, we'll have to put a Denny in here, right? So this is going to be my Denny Hamlin Kansas race win from 2019. This is a custom car with a custom cut confetti. You can see we got the bright green splitter down here, the confetti. The windshield banner is probably my biggest complaint, just because it's not as bright. You got a nice bright spoiler and a nice bright splitter, but the windshield banner didn't quite work out as good. You can see some marks around the wheel wells. Go to the right side. Got some marks around there as well over here. And then we got kind of the right front corner is all rubbered up, and that's where we got more of our tire detail there. On the hood, we got some confetti, windshield, and right side as well. So we got kind of confetti scattered around. KVK3 made this one. Actually, I think he's made all of my custom cars for the Cup Series. Oddly enough, I just continue to find his cars on eBay. I may have to have him make me a one of my other customs, though. I'll have to find out. Gotta get in contact with him. Anyway, the next car on this list is going to be, let's go with the Casey Kane car. We're going to go with the Casey Kane 2006 Charlotte car. I said no particular order, but this is one of my absolute favorites. The paint scheme is one of the beautiful parts, but also adding the white valence, the white skirt, the tape across the front of the nose here. You can see all the different rubber buildup that's on the front of the car. We got the blue and white confetti that runs down the hood and on the left side of the car mainly. Window net is down. It is an Elite as well, which always helps. Right side detail, not much, pretty darn clean, but you can see a few marks here or there. Again, white skirt over there. But, yeah, we got the rubber buildup and stuff on the front. The confetti on this one is the biggest kicker. It's really, really well done, being heavy on the left side and kind of opening up towards the right, just how it lands on the car. So this is one of my favorite race wins. Again, another one of those ones I was really glad to pick up and not have to have made. I haven't had as many made as you would think. A lot of these I've picked up from other places. So next on the list, we're going to go ahead and go with probably one of my absolute favorite customs, because of the way it just turned out. This is Noah Gragson's 2018 Yes, 2018. I was trying to remember who won 19. It was Ross Chastain. But 2018, Kansas race win. You can see we got some marks around the wheel wells. That helped. You can see the front, kind of the raced up detail on the front, but pretty clean. It is Kansas, which helps. But the right side is where it really got good because we had a flat spotted tire, and the fender here was kind of worked in from a very quality burnout, and some marks around there. Otherwise, did keep the truck clean, so a little mark there, but we do also get the confetti on here. So all this confetti is done by little tiny pieces of tape. You can see it on the hood, very light. Not very much on the windshield at all. Pretty darn clean, actually. And then once you get to the back of the truck, you got more of that confetti kind of on there with the Switch logo and everything. As I said, this truck itself, one of my absolute favorites. I know my sister really likes this car. This is one of her favorites as well, being it was her driver getting to win in the truck series and getting to see it. Obviously, I've seen Moffitt win 4 times now, so for me, it's not as rare, but not as rare. But I know that was one of her favorites, and so we both have that custom. Like, she has one and I have one. We both got one made. She got hers signed in person. I got mine. I used an autographed version of the truck to get it done. So. Next on this list, we're going to go ahead and go with the Joey Logano Kansas Win. Now, this is a really good custom. Frankly, I could say it's number 2, but I really like my number 2 car. This is going to be the Kansas Win from 2015, where he punted Kenseth, and I'm using that word correctly. He punted him. I was in turn 1. I was there. I watched it. Anyway, you can see the confetti kind of around the rear window and on the deck lid. What is this, DIN number 3? So he's done a few of these customs. I actually owned 2 of them at one time. The first one had the liquids on it, so it was all fogged over on the windshield, fogged over on the rear window, kind of, I don't know, not the way I like to have my cars. So this one is much cleaner, which I really, really enjoy. And the confetti is actually done by marker instead of by little confetti pieces. But this is the real beauty of this, and that is the right side tire being all scraped up here. The car that got into the wall, you can see the fender has a little crack in it. And then, as I said, no Goodyear on the tires, so definitely when he got into the wall, Kenseth went up and made the block, and Joey just kept going higher. Like, he was not there, and he just put himself in the wall. Like... Okay, so we're going to look at the custom first, and then I'm going to show you exactly what happened, because this is one of the controversial things that people don't realize. But anyway, great detail on this one. Shredded tire here on that left rear, which looks amazing, and then we also have some bent-up fender right in there. So, but what I was saying, before we get too far in, I'm just going to pick 2 random cars out of this bin so I can make it work, and I think one's a COT and one's not. Hey, they're both Kane, who knows? Okay, so coming down the front stretch, he was catching him. Kenseth went up to make the block, and Kenseth was here. Kenseth was literally clear of Logano, and Logano, like, he was still coming up, and Logano just put himself on the wall. Like, he was not up against the bumper, and he was not up in here. He was literally, like, here, so barely clear for sure, but he just kept going up. Instead of crossing under, which is what would have made more sense, because you take all the air off, you could probably get him loose going into the corner and make a big run underneath, but instead he just fenced himself and then just punted him off into the corner. So, again, it was one of the weirdest things. Like, it was hard racing. I'll give him that for sure. But it was just, like, he had another option. He just didn't take it. So, again, I am always on the Kenseth train on that one. I thought, after watching the punt and dump and then followed by, just that's what he gets mentality, I didn't mind him getting wrecked. So anyway, let's get this back off the controversial train and go to my number 2 diecast, which probably for most people would be a number 1, but my number 1 is very personal. So this car is the 2016 Chase Elliott. This is the showdown car. So you can see here all the donut marks down the left side. We've got a bent fender here. We've got a bent fender here. You can see the front's pretty darn clean, but you get over to the right side, that's where he got put in the fence. You can see the scrapes from the wall on the yellow there. Also some marks up here along the front fender. No Goodyear on. I don't think any tires have Goodyear left on them. No, they all got rubbed off from that contact with Kyle Larson. As I said, lots of donut marks on the left side, very chewed up and beat up body down here on the skirt, and also up here on the front where it actually bent it in. Around the front wheel well's really good. I think it is lowered. Maybe it's not lowered. No, it looks like there's a little room, but it is. I think it's lowered a little ways. So anyway, that is the 2016 showdown car, the runner-up to Kyle Larson. Frankly, I wish this would have been just made because of all the damage to it. I'm sure with the Checkers or Wreckers cars, they would have found a way to make it, but now that 3M is not sponsoring, they probably didn't have the option. So And my number one car, this is sentimental to me because it was probably the most fun race I've ever experienced. Heartbreaking, but fun. The 2019 Denny Hamlin Bristol Win. This car has got great detail with the grill tape. You can see the rubber buildup on the windshield, kind of fogged over, and then also on the hood. This is where he got into the wall earlier, so you can see the scrapes along the right side, on the fender, up here. Also on the rear of the car, we got some marks from where he goes getting into the wall. It is a Bristol Win, so we got a little donut mark, really dirtied up, really raced up, used the car to everything it needed. It even says FedEx Freight. I believe it used to say FedEx Express was the original car. I'd have to double check, but I think it's FedEx Express. So that's a custom decal. That's a custom decal. All those extra add-ons are extra. But this is one of my absolute favorite cars. It just turned out so nice. I was really happy to get the NASCAR Heat logos on there. The whole works. This is just a really top quality custom, and it was the most fun race I've ever seen. Again, heartbroken that Matty D didn't get this win, but a just weekend long experience. First time really ever being to Bristol, and it was just what a weekend. So hopefully they continue, and we have a lot of really great races like that in the future. But man, it was fun. It was a lot of fun to be there with a packed house. So. But that is going to pretty much wrap up my video of my top 12 of the cars that, I don't know what you want to call them, custom done or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and line them up here for you for a quick little shot. Maybe it's 11. I might be, nope, it's 12. Okay. I'm kind of sliding them over and I'm making sure I'm counting them correctly, but there we go. Pull this off the tripod. All right. So there are the 12 there. As I said, no particular order on them. They are just in there as I see fit or as I was able to get a hold of them. But definitely these are some really cool things. And if you've ever been to a race and not had the race win made, this is a good way or a good alternative to get a race win without having to have a full-blown custom, because most of the scheme is there, and as I said, edits can be made. This one here and this one here both had edits where they had to add a couple decals here or there, whether it's the FedEx Freight to Office, the NASCAR Heat decals, things like that, windshield banners, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of really talented people out there that do a lot of good work. I'm not gonna lie, none of these were mine. These were all done, by different people. This one was done by KVK3. This one was done by Noah Ewing. You've got he did that one as well. I don't even know who got that one. I got that off of Facebook. That's CS Diecast. Facebook. So I think Jacob Beavers did a couple of those for Justin that came out of his collection. But again, very, very cool. These are really what define a diecast collection, is the custom stuff. Like looking right over here, obviously I'm missing some because they're out here, but this random case of cars means nothing to any random person. They just see a value. They see a $50 car here, a $40 car here, so whatever. But to me, this is one of my favorite sets because it's my story kind of thing. And that's what diecasts are. So that's what these make. That's why they're so much fun. That's why a lot of people are really passionate about their collections. So anyway, this is my collection. Let me know your thoughts on what I've got. Let me know what you have had done in the past for your customs and different cars you've had made. Go ahead and share them over on Instagram. You can send them to my Instagram page. I think it's Racecraze95, but I can't remember the exact name of it. But yeah, if you send them in messages, I love sharing them. Different customs you guys have had made, send them over. I will gladly share. But other than that, this will wrap up the video. This has been Racecraze. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next.